Live. We are coming to you on our very first Sail Talk Saturday. We're so excited to be here. It is Saturday, September 9th, 2023.
I like to call it our inaugural Sail Talk Saturday, if you will. We're going on our inaugural sailing of Sail Talk Saturday. And so if you're watching it live, awesome. If you're watching the recording after, we've got a whole bunch of cruise news and insights for you in this Sail Talk Saturday.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and kick it off, I think, with our very first news story, if that sounds like a plan to you.
Jump on in. Let's jump on in.
Let's do it. All right. So we are going to start by talking about a news story that came out from Virgin Voyages today, or actually this past week. The Brilliant Lady, unfortunately, is experiencing some delays right now in the shipyards. So what's going on out there is they're having some supply chain issues, and they're having some struggles getting all of the parts together to get her up and going. Because of these delays, unfortunately, we are seeing that the other itineraries that Virgin Voyages has to offer are being impacted as well. So the Valiant Lady, which is actually the ship that we're going to be going on here in just a couple of short months, we're really excited about. The Valiant Lady is actually going to be taking over some of those itineraries, and starting January, she's going to be sailing from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Really exciting itineraries. They're actually going to be, Virgin Voyages actually announced that they're going to be releasing all of those itineraries on Monday, the 11th of September.
For who?
For Valiant Lady and anyone else, any other sailing that's been impacted.
Okay. So Brilliant Lady canceled. What happens to those sailors?
So anyone that was already booked on either the Valiant Lady that got repositioned or the Brilliant Lady, they are getting some pretty good incentives sent their way to the tune of a $600 bar tab.
It's not terrible.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
They're going to get an immediate placement onto another sailing. So if they were on the Brilliant, so if they were on the Brilliant out of San Juan, then they'll just automatically get transferred onto the Valiant out of San Juan.
Oh, that's nice.
And then they'll also still get that onboard credit, which is pretty amazing. And they have to make those decisions by the end of September because we're coming up really close on that sailing date.
Yeah.
So
when will Brilliant launch?
Brilliant is actually going to be making her way over to San Juan by the end of March and into April.
Okay.
That's what they're hoping for. That's the new goal.
Okay.
So
awesome.
Some really interesting information coming out that direction.
Okay.
While we're on the subject of it, if you don't mind, I would love to be able to share some additional details about Valiant, or actually Virgin Voyages. So if you didn't know already, I am actually a travel advisor, and I have the ability to book your very own cruise on Virgin Voyages. I'm not just only stuck with Virgin Voyages. They are a fantastic company to work with when it comes to booking cruises. But if you go through us, you can go to our website. That is thiscruiselife.com/travel. You'll see some links down at the bottom of the page. One of them will take you directly into Virgin Voyages. You'll get to this landing site, and you'll be able to book your very own sailing.
Awesome.
It's a pretty cool and easy system. If you have any questions, if you want to learn more about sailing with Virgin Voyages, let me know. Hey, I can also do other cruise lines. It's not just Virgin Voyages that I have the ability to do, but while we're talking about Virgin, we might as well say it.
Okay, Virgin Voyages. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Next story that we're going to talk about is Radiance of the Seas. We talked about Radiance of the Seas last week in our kind of kickoff in the first video we did. That sailing was canceled. The September 1st sailing was canceled. Well, guess what? For the second week in a row, the Radiance of the Seas sailing was canceled. Unfortunately, there was a mechanical issue on the last week of August sailing that impacted propulsion of the ship. They were hoping to have that resolved by September 1st. In fact, if you remember from last week, they canceled day of that sailing. Ouch. They've canceled again the September 8th sailing. The cool thing is, very similar to Virgin, Royal Caribbean is recognizing and supporting those passengers that were impacted. They're giving the option for a full refund, future credits, free cruises. Those are all cool things. It's heartbreaking. I can't imagine being at the port or the day before you're sailing or the day of your sailing and finding out it's been canceled. So I don't want to downplay the fact that ouch, that hurts. There have been some, we mentioned this, there have been some folks that commented that it wasn't enough credit to cover all of their losses. And so it's a bummer. The September 15th Royal Caribbean does say that the September 15th sailing is on out of Seward, Alaska. So the ship is based out of Seward and sails up north.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but I'd be a little nervous if I was on that September 15th sailing, but we do have our fingers crossed. Royal did say this past week that September 15th sailing will indeed happen.
We'll see.
We'll keep our eyes tuned.
Yep. Yesterday, she was seen doing some sea trials out there. Definitely it wasn't going very fast. She was
2 knots,
hitting 2. At one point, I logged in and I saw that she was hitting 5 knots. Okay. So definitely not your standard cruising speeds for a cruise ship by any means. But hopefully they will come to a solution to get her seaworthy and going nice and quick.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay. Well, while we're on the topic of propulsion,
we have a comment.
We do have a comment. Yeah. You're right. Waypoint Explorers, thanks for joining in. We are so happy to see you. Thank you. I'm just going to throw you up on there. Virgin, we're so excited for our very first experience getting onto Virgin Voyages this November. We're going for Thanksgiving. So feasting it up a different way than we're used to.
And we've heard so many good things. And so kind of to hear your comment makes me super happy because we've heard so many good things about Virgin Voyages. And we'll bring lots of that insight here. And we're on the Valiant.
We're on the Valiant before she makes her change over to sail from San Juan.
My gosh, thank goodness. Okay.
Yeah, and actually she's coming directly over from Europe. She'll be arriving, I think, 1 week before our sailing.
Okay,
so
awesome.
Kind of fun.
What's next?
All right, so we just talked about Radiance of the Seas having propulsion issues. Now we're going to move on to another ship that was experiencing some propulsion issues.
Speaking of propulsion issues.
Yeah. The Disney Fantasy actually was having some problems this past week. Kind of interesting situation. She was supposed to be sailing on her normal itinerary and got rerouted due to Hurricane Lee and all the different negative weather impacts that we're having in the Caribbean. So that was kind of the start of their sailing was, okay, we have to make some modifications. And then as they're sailing along, they were supposed to stop in Castaway Cay, I want to say yesterday. And on Thursday night, they got a notice from their captain saying, hey, we're having some propulsion issues, nothing to be worried about. We're still safe. We're still moving along. But instead of going to Castaway Cay, we're just going to change the course and make our way directly up to the port of call at home port, which I believe is Port Canaveral, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so the ship is doing okay. She should have arrived in port either today or tomorrow, but she is moving right along.
Awesome.
Yep. And then some other news that came out with
There's
Disney.
a bunch of Disney news, and we're actually going to end with a little bit of breaking Disney news. We'll end this today with a little bit of breaking, but what was the other thing this week?
So the other thing that we had this week was the Disney Treasure has officially been announced. That's the 6th cruise ship by Disney. We actually got this fun video that I'm going to go ahead and put on screen for you
fantastic.
all.
Oh gosh, we're going to test technology. This makes me nervous.
Yeah, right? Let me pull it up.
I mean, she had been previously announced, right? The ship this week, Disney talked about kind of some of the onboard features and amenities.
Released some more details about it. Yeah, so let's watch this video, little teaser, and then we'll get into the details of it.
Okay, fantastic.
Cool. So some really cool things that have been announced for the new ship. Definitely super exciting to see what's going on there. Just a quick high level of what they've talked about and what they're announcing. Mm-hmm. It's actually the same ship as the Disney Wish as far as the layout is concerned, but that's the only similarity between these two ships.
Not the only similarity. Well, I mean, they're still going to have the Disney funnel.
That's true.
I mean, there's still going to be some similarities to other Disney ships, but it is going to be really unique. There's a lot of new venues.
Yeah, so kind of just a lot of thematic changes to this ship. One of the things that they're really excited about introducing is this new Coco experience. So if you've seen the movies Coco, I love it. It's a great Disney movie. It was actually a collaborative effort between Disney and Pixar. And so this is the first edition where they're doing a theater dining venue in the round. It's called Plaza de Coco. And so they're going to have all these Mexican themed dishes and mariachis and all sorts of fun stuff like that. So it's going to be a really cool experience there.
That excites me. I get really excited. Speaking about dinner experiences, we're actually going to be posting a video about another dinner experience very soon, right?
Yeah. This coming week, we're going to post, I think we said Monday is when we're going to launch it. Our experience that we had in Le Petit Chef on the Celebrity Apex.
So there's all sorts of dining experiences out there that you can have, and Disney is joining the fleet.
They are, yeah. They're having a little bit of fun. Some other things that they're doing on the new Disney Treasure, they have a new updated bar space, the Periscope Pub, which sounds kind of fun. It's going to feel like you're under the sea and pays homage to the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, you know, that whole deal. Of course, they're bringing back the huge suite that's in the forward funnel. That forward funnel that is not real. It is a fake funnel. And it's kind of a weird spot to...
It's a weird
because
place
you
to have
got
a suite.
2-story windows looking down into the pool area.
And everyone looking up into your... It's just a weird spot. And, Anyway. And it's expensive.
It is. It's a very expensive space. It sleeps up to 8, so that kind of gives you an idea of what we're looking at. And then the only other major thing that I thought was really interesting. Oh, hey, Gabby. Very cool.
Oh, that totally makes me happy. Hi, Gabby. It's good to see you. Okay, sorry.
The only other thing that I thought was really interesting about the new Disney Treasure is the fact that they the main center atrium is not princess themed. It's actually going to be themed around Aladdin. So they're bringing back the theming of Aladdin into the space, the flying magic carpet ride, and all of that fun stuff. So it's going to be a really cool space. I'm really excited to see how that looks. I mean, the renderings look really amazing.
Okay, enough Disney.
All right, yeah, we'll move on
until the end. Until the end. So this week, an angry dad took to TikTok to express his disappointment with Norwegian Cruise Lines, claiming that they are scamming passengers out of money. Whoa, there we go. There's angry dad. There is angry dad. The family sailed on Norwegian Bliss, and they were in the Haven. And so if you know, the Haven is the most expensive area on board a Norwegian Cruise Line ship.
Yes, it is.
In fact, some sailings can go for $20,000 in the Haven. There's a 2-week itinerary that's $20,000+ for a room in the Haven. Well, this angry dad took to TikTok to tell everyone how he was upset that even though they spent that kind of money on a room, they still had to pay for internet.
What a shame.
What a shame. And not only did they have to pay for internet for one, they got it for dad and mom and both of the kids. And, you know, it was $800. It was upwards of $800 for internet. How dare Norwegian Cruise Line? It's just a scam.
It is just a scam. Plus, he was complaining about the coffee.
Oh, I'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
I'll get to his other complaint. Now, we don't love paying for internet on a cruise ship. I get it, right? And in fact, some cruises we don't pay for it because we don't want it. We know it's going to be an additional cost, and so I get it. No one loves to pay for it, but when you're buying yourself the internet and Rocky the internet and 2 other sailors the internet, like you're gonna pay some money for unlimited internet. I mean, that's the reality, and to complain to pay that kind of money and then to nickel and dime over, I can't believe that they charged me for the internet. It just seems, anyway.
Yeah.
Angry Dad was also upset about the Starbucks coffee, unlimited coffee, claimed that there were 2-hour-long waits for coffee. Now, if that is indeed the case, I would be frustrated too. You've heard us, you've heard me talk about some frustrations with Java Blue, Onboard Carnival. Java Blue, sometimes there are lines that block the walkways. Now, the most I've ever waited is probably around 15 minutes in a Java Blue line, maybe 20 minutes in a Java Blue line. Frustrating. I'll give you that. And so the angry dad said the line's minimum wait of an hour, up to 2-hour-long wait, and it just wasn't worth it to buy the unlimited coffee card because they just didn't get the value.
I just have to pull him back up on the screen.
Oh, angry dad. Yeah, hi, angry dad. Where he kind of, if I'm being honest, where he kind of lost me in his argument was, you know, claiming that they don't sell the coffee card to minors, the unlimited coffee to minors, because they don't mind waiting in line, and so they would get their value out of the coffee cart because kids will just wait in line for coffee.
Yeah, sure.
I don't really. I think they just buy that. Yeah, I don't necessarily buy that. But anyway, truly, it would be frustrating if I couldn't make use of a benefit that I had purchased.
Well, I mean, look at Java Blue and all the issues that we've had on.
Yep.
Well, not just the new ships, but all of the Carnival ships. Java Blue has really taken over and been exciting for a lot of passengers.
Now, what I will say is he's not wrong. He is not wrong.
No.
Norwegian Cruise Line they just, in their last quarterly report, they just announced that their onboard revenue is up 30%, 30% of all of those plus charges and extra charges and onboard charges that they are finding. And so he's not wrong that the line is charging, but again, I don't know that I would go into a cruise not expecting to pay for some of these things.
Yeah,
maybe when you pay $20,000 for a room, which we have never done, nor do I see us ever doing.
Yeah, no.
But maybe then we would have a different tune.
Maybe.
But again, if I'm paying $20,000 for a cruise, I'm probably okay.
Yeah.
With $800 if I'm buying internet for everyone.
I would say. So now we've got to move into some weather reports that are coming out in the Caribbean right now. So I'm going to throw up onto the screen. I'm going to throw up. That's kind of gross.
Yeah, don't
onto the screen. I'm going to put the current conditions that we have. Hurricane Lee, just want to give you a brief update. Hurricane Lee actually looks like it's taking a turn for the positive for the cruise industry.
Oh, good.
Hurricane Lee was originally barreling towards like the Bahamas region of the Caribbean. And as you can see there on the screen, she's actually taking a turn north, heading up towards Bermuda. Not ideal for Bermuda, but hopefully by the time she makes her way up there, she'll start to reduce in intensity. Right now, she is showing over 110 mile an hour wind gusts or winds within the system. So definitely something to keep an eye on.
And we've seen multiple cruise lines announce that they're changing their itineraries. Royal Caribbean just said yesterday, literally being on a cruise ship is the safest place you can be during a hurricane.
It is, because they'll avoid the hurricanes all the time.
Yep.
Something else that I've been keeping an eye on is Hurricane Margot, and she's now been downgraded to a tropical storm.
Oh, good.
She's out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean between Africa and the Caribbean right now. Her new trajectory is just heading directly due north, right up the Atlantic. It'll be interesting to see what happens. We've seen in the past where some of these hurricanes that go due north, they actually take a turn when they get farther north and they make their way over to the UK. So just keeping an eye on what's going on with Tropical Storm Margot.
Now, these storms should dissipate well before October, correct?
I would imagine
I know that we've got some friends who are going to be sailing to Bermuda in October. And so I just want to make sure that they're going to be okay.
They should be okay. Now, it's just a matter of how hard hit the islands are. That determines whether a ship can actually dock there. Maybe they have to bring some provisions and do other things to bring them back up.
Well, we hope that they continue to dissipate.
We do, absolutely.
There's one more, isn't there?
There is one more that I'm keeping an eye on, and that one is now Tropical Storm Hova. So Hova, as I believe it's pronounced, was a hurricane actually, and has been downgraded to a tropical storm.
We like downgrades when it comes to hurricanes.
Right. This storm actually, it's kind of hard to tell from this image here, but it's actually off the coast of Mexico to the west. So it's in the Pacific Ocean right now. It's kind of heading towards Hawaii, but not really. It's not being projected there right now. This outlook is about 5 days in the future. So you can see it's kind of moving at a pretty slow pace. We'll keep an eye on this. And then by next week, when we get into the news stories, we'll keep you updated on if this turns back up into a hurricane or if it remains a tropical storm, but we'll let you know where it goes.
It's interesting. We've read some of the letters that passengers have received saying, hey, your cruise likely will change, your itinerary will likely change. You may not find out about those changes until you are on board.
Right.
If you'd like to, you can move your cruise, but likely there will be more changes that happen throughout the week as, again, the cruise lines work to avoid that storm. It is the safest place to be.
It is
on a cruise ship.
It is. Yep. You might have some rough waters.
I don't think so. Those ships are steering way clear, but maybe.
Depends.
But maybe. Yes. What's next?
All right, so now we are moving into Princess.
We're moving into Princess.
We are.
Oh, the onboard credit for service members.
Yeah.
Did you know that you can get up to $500 of onboard credit with Princess Cruise Lines for military members, both the US and Canada military members? And so that's super cool. It's actually one of the richer onboard credit offers that we've seen.
Yeah.
So I've talked on this channel, you've heard me talk, and Rocky as well, about the shareholder credit. So Carnival Corporation has a great shareholder credit program, up to $250 per stateroom for 14 days or more. Yep. Princess offers that same opportunity, $250 per passenger, or $250 for the military recognition. But if both of the passengers in the cabin are military, you can apply both. You can get up to $500. Whereas you and I are both shareholders. Right. We can only apply one shareholder credit per stateroom, which is a bummer. It is. For the military discount, you can apply per passenger up to 2 passengers in a stateroom. So that's $500. If you're sailing on a week-long sailing, week to 13 days, it's going to be $100, and below a week is $50, similar to the shareholder credit. But again, you can apply those to both sailors in the room if both have our service members. Now, you do have to confirm your service. There is a verification process that's in place. And Princess does say you have to submit that at least 14 days, no shorter than 14 days prior. Now, for all of you casino offer sailors, sorry, free sailings, significantly reduced sailings, those do not qualify for this additional onboard credit. But hey, if you can get $500 of additional onboard credit from Princess Cruise Lines, do it. We will continue to bring you ways as we find them on how to save money on your next cruise.
Absolutely. Now for an unfortunate news story, we're going to talk about, I know it's not the greatest thing. We had a passenger that was sailing. We didn't, yes. Carnival had a passenger sailing on the Carnival Conquest last week. It was a 3-day cruise. This gentleman that you see on the screen, he was 26 years old, part of a family celebration for the father's 60th birthday. As the ship was returning back to Miami to dock for the next sailing, it was noted that he was nowhere to be found. He was staying in a cabin with his twin brother, and his twin brother actually thinks that he heard this individual leave the stateroom between around 5 and 7 a.m. It turns out that it was probably more around 2 o'clock in the morning.
We don't know.
We're not sure.
No one knows.
Yeah.
And so
it's kind of interesting.
That was the last time he was seen. The last time he was physically seen was at 2 a.m. that they can say. Yeah. But then the twin said, no, somewhere, I think he left between 5 and 7, which is what was originally reported last week in the situation. Oh, he was seen at 7. Well, no, the twin thinks he may have left the room between 5 and 7.
Right. So either way, it's kind of a strange situation because cruise ships are actually very well equipped with onboard surveillance systems. And there's actually a man overboard surveillance that is activated. If something goes over the edge of a ship, that camera system actually starts recording what's being seen, and it'll actually zoom and change and
it detects heat. It detects so it doesn't get false triggered a lot because stuff goes overboard sometimes, unfortunately. But it's a really advanced system to track when a person goes overboard.
Right. And unfortunately, it was never activated. The Carnival and the patrol, Coast Guard. Thank you. I can't think of the word.
You're welcome.
They've been researching all of their databases and looking at all their videos, and they're not coming up with much.
Coast Guard officially called off the search this past week, and Carnival, in a statement, has said they are continuing to review closed CCTV, closed circuit TV videos to see if they can track his whereabouts and where his movement is. The family, understandably, is distraught. They're worried that, did this passenger fall on board? Is he somewhere on board hurt and asking for help? Because again, no one has detected a man or person overboard. And Coast Guard and Customs have said he did not get off the ship. He didn't scan his. One of the articles said his C-Pass card. It's a sail and sign card on Carnival, folks. Anyway,
Yep. So
condolences.
Definite condolences to the family. All right. Let's talk about some changes to Mobile.
Hey, Alabama friends. Did you know that Carnival Cruise Lines and the Port of Mobile have made a long-term commitment to each other? This is actually the longest commitment we've ever seen, or that Carnival and the Port of Mobile have ever had, a 5-year commitment. And in that commitment, Carnival will pay $8 per passenger with a 3% increase to that fee every single year of the 5-year contract. Now, the two groups, Mobile, the Port of Mobile, and Carnival, have agreed to a potential 2-year extension of that contract if they want to continue. This is the longest term that Carnival has ever set with the Port of Mobile, which is really cool, re-emphasizing their commitment to the port. I'm certain the Port of Mobile is not sad about it as well, because it's great news. They've been sailing, Carnival's been sailing from Mobile since 2001.
Yeah.
They did take a break from 2011 to 2016. They did not have a ship sailing from the Port of Mobile. And then, of course, COVID. And so that's why I say Port of Mobile, I'm certain, is happy that they've signed this 5-year commitment. And they brought a bigger ship there.
They did,
the biggest ship ever to Mobile.
Yeah, so the Carnival Spirit is actually going to be heading over there. She is currently wrapping up the summer season in Alaska. And then she's going to make her Panama Canal transit, making her way back over. Yes, indeed. Actually, the end of this month, she'll be doing it. End of September.
Probably sold out.
Probably. She'll be going through the canal, through the locks, and making her way over to Mobile to spend some time out there.
That's awesome.
It is.
I actually have never sailed from Mobile. I would like to. I would like to just experience it. I've
looked into it, and the airfare is not the most convenient. It's going to require at least 1, possibly 2 layovers getting there from Phoenix.
So why is that? We need a cruise port here. Okay, what's next?
We need oceanfront first.
Well, hey, don't wish global warming on us. Oceanfront is coming soon enough.
California can just fall off the. Oh, sorry.
We're kidding. For those of oh my gosh, great. Now you've offended half of our. Anyway.
All right. So in the next Carnival-related news, we've got some other deployment information coming out.
Is this the last news before the
It is,
big thing, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Carnival Legend actually has been announced for the 2025 season. So we're looking at a couple of summers. She is going to be repositioning to San Francisco, sunny San Fran, or foggy San Fran.
Have you ever sailed from San Fran?
No, I'd love to.
I think that would be a really cool sailing.
So she'll be moving up there at the start of the 2025 summer season. She'll be sailing on her, actually she'll be doing a Panama transit coming from Tampa, if I'm not mistaken. When she gets to San Francisco, then she'll be doing a Hawaii sailing. So it's like a back-to-back double long sailings. Sign us up. We're all about that, especially on that ship.
Well, Rocky's work schedule doesn't really allow him to do that. So if there's anyone out there watching this that wants to do a back-to-back 28 days, is it?
Probably.
Oh, sounds like fun to me.
But yeah, so the Legend's going to make her way over there, and she will be sailing those 2 itineraries followed by 10-day Alaska cruises.
Wow.
So she's going to be doing, that's what the Miracle's actually been doing over the past couple of years. So the Miracle started sailing from San Francisco in 2022, and she was doing those 10-day Alaska sailings, and now they wanted to change it up and bring a different ship. I mean, the Legend and the Miracle are very similar, kind of like what we saw with the Disney Treasure and the Disney Wish. There's just some thematic changes and a couple of venues that are different, but overall.
Have you experienced either of those ships?
No.
You've not experienced the Legend?
Oh, the Legend and the Miracle, yes. I thought you were talking about Disney. I haven't done any of the Disney ships.
The one isn't even out yet. How would you have experienced it? So Miracle and Legend.
Yeah.
What's your favorite between the two?
Oh, gosh. I only got.
You didn't know I was going to ask him
this,
I
didn't.
By the way.
I wasn't prepared for this question. The Miracle was really beautiful. We only did 4 days. It was New Year's last year or going into this year,
cool.
which was really cool. It was a lot of fun. But I had some really good experiences on the Legend as well. I did Alaska on the Legend in 2019 before the pandemic, and it was a lot of fun. I had a really great cruise. I actually took my parents on Carnival for the first time when we did that cruise. They introduced me to Alaska. I introduced them to Carnival, so it was kind of a fun experience. Yep.
I love both of the ships.
I don't know that I could pick.
The Miracle is my third most sailed ship in Carnival's fleet. So I obviously have a little bit of a soft spot.
Well, wait,
for the
wasn't
Miracle.
it just
I think
bumped
it
by
just
Venezia?
was bumped. I think it was just bumped. No, it was just bumped by Panorama, your birthday cruise.
Panorama.
So I think Panorama just jumped into the third place. So it goes Splendor, Glory, Panorama, Miracle. So you're right. You're right. And then probably Venezia, because that was a great cruise. But I love that class of ship.
Yeah, it's a great class.
I know our friends Brian and Christopher. I think that is their favorite class.
It
of
is.
ship.
They love the Spirit, and I'm excited to check out the Spirit at some point.
Can we please?
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay. And those long cruises. Why does everyone else get nice things? Why do we always we get the 7-day cruises? I want to go on a.
What are you talking about? We don't get.
When are we going? When's the next time we're going on a 15-day cruise?
Well, you are on the Conquest.
I mean, okay, continue. Let's bring this home and answer any questions that are out there or see what other folks are following.
Yeah. So the last and final, but not the least news, it actually just broke today.
This morning.
Just this morning. That is the Global Dream breathes new life. So we've known that the Global Dream was picked up by Disney.
Genting's Global Dream. They went bankrupt. Genting. Ganting, whatever it is. They went bankrupt, unfortunately. The whole pandemic thing. They were building this cruise ship that was 208,000 tons.
Huge.
Yeah, huge. For comparison, what's the Excel class? The Excel class is 180,000.
Yeah, it's
right.
180.
So I mean, it's another fantasy class. Not quite another fantasy class, but another ship on top of it. Huge.
It is a massive ship, and when Genting was building this ship, they were putting all the bells and whistles into it. I mean,
escalators.
Escalators.
A full movie theater, escalators. Like
they were putting in the bells and whistles. They were really trying to compete with the Oasis class from Royal Caribbean. So it was really interesting when we heard that Disney was picking up this ship, and knowing that this ship was, I want to say it was around 80% complete with the outfittings.
It was a chunk
Disney had to put some money, or is having to put some money into this ship to get it ready for Disney crew or Disney crowds. I mean, people go on a Disney ship with a certain expectation. Yeah. So today marks the announcement of
that's right. We didn't even tell them the name yet.
Disney Adventure.
The Disney Adventure, which is appropriate considering all of the adventure that will be on this ship. There is no doubt in my mind that it will have new venues. It will have new experiences. Disney World, maybe Disney Ocean, Disney Ocean. I don't know what it might be. I'm super excited to see what Disney does with this monstrosity of a ship. And monstrosity, I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Right. Yeah, so definitely an interesting thing. They didn't really release a lot of details about what they're doing to the ship to make it Disneyfied. They're saying that a lot of those details are going to be coming out in the future. I know I didn't mention it earlier, but the Disney Treasure will start sailing in December of 2024. The Disney Adventure...
I don't know that there was a date, was
there? There wasn't. They're looking at 2025, possibly 2026. Yeah, there's really no true
And it'll be based, I think, in Singapore.
Yeah, it's going to be an Asian-based cruise. Okay. So we won't actually see the Disney Adventure probably come to North America ever. Or if it does, it'll be significantly
There's no doubt it will come to North America at some point. Look at Venezia and Firenze, those were Asian-based ships as well.
And that's true.
Then COVID happened. So let's not hope for another one of those.
Right.
Anyway, that's a lot of cruise news. Those are some of the stories that we've been following this past week. It's a gorgeous ship.
Yeah, I love this, Raymond. Thanks for joining in. He's like, maybe I need to take a look at going there. Taking a look at that ship.
Raymond, if you need a roommate, again, let me know.
And if you need an advisor, I can help book you.
Doesn't Raymond get free a cruise?
Probably not with Disney.
Oh, probably not with Disney. Probably not with Disney. Yes. I can't imagine that's going to be a cheap sailing.
I don't know. Probably not.
Actually, considering the market, maybe the market is going to look different than the U.S. market. So we'll see, and we will bring you more news and updates on that.
Yeah.
So that's what we've been following, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cruise news out there. We have been, for those of you who have followed us from the very beginning, or those who have joined us along the way, we've been doing. That's actually how we started off this cruise life, is around cruise news and following what was happening. It was in the midst of a global pandemic, and so we started sharing hashtag cruise news on Twitter and socials, and so we were excited to bring you some of the stories we're following and add a little bit of Mark and Rocky twist to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tom brought up a really great point. Have we seen that Virgin gives onboard credit since they don't have a drink package? Yes. So that is called the bar tab. And actually
more sailors loot. There's
two different things.
Yeah, there's two different things.
Yeah, so you have the bar tab, which is valid for drinks. Instead of doing drinks packages, They give you a bar tab and you just spend it like you would spend money on a cruise ship. It's so easy to do. They also have a thing called sailor loot, and sailor loot can be used towards shore excursions, as they call them, shore things. You can use it towards shore things. You can use it towards upgrades towards your meal when you're in the dining room. So they don't charge for any of the dining venues on the ship, but they do have upcharge dining options.
Can you not use sailor loot for everything?
I have to do some research on it to see. I'm not sure that you can use sailor loot towards your bar credits. I'd have to look at that.
Interesting. But yes, they don't have a drinks package, which early on, a lot of folks complained about it. A lot of folks, there was a lot of like, what, how in the world is a brand new adults only line not having a drinks package? Top sailors have really liked bar tab.
They have.
The drinks are reasonably priced that you don't find, I mean, you might, depending if you do top shelf and stuff, but like you don't find $25 drinks like we saw on our Celebrity APAC sailing.
Right.
The drinks are $8, $10. They're very reasonably priced. And so that helps.
That does.
When you have $600 of sailor loot.
Right.
$10. That's actually, that helps a lot.
It does. There's some other promotions. So right now, if you book a Virgin sailing, you get $600 in bar tab money, which is fantastic. You can get, I think it's $250 or $300 if you're sailing on a shorter cruise on Virgin Voyages. Like, they're doing some pretty amazing promotions right now. And again, if you're looking to sail with Virgin, just let me know. I can get you the hookup and get you some really great deals on there.
And I can work from a cruise ship. So that's the beautiful thing about my job. Right. So if you want to go, let me know.
For sure.
There's a great question in the chat. There's a couple of them.
Yeah. So Gabby's wondering when our next cruise adventure is. So
I've been researching. I think it's the Legend.
Yeah.
I think there's a ship that's going to Bermuda that I've been researching.
Right.
Unfortunately, it looks like that sailing is sold out.
Yeah, so I'm going to continue to keep an eye on that sailing. Thank you, Cooper, for bringing this up as well. We are definitely keeping an eye on the Carnival Legend sailing. It was sold out when I took a look at it a couple days ago, but I will be logging in pretty much every day to see if anything comes available for this guy to hop on.
I don't know how expensive it would be, so it might not even be feasible because it sounds like it's been a popular sailing. Yeah. But I think I've never visited Bermuda,
right?
And so getting a chance to do that, I'd probably bring on board a bocce ball set. Just
because that's something you just carry with you everywhere you go.
But as of right now, officially, the next cruise that we have booked is for Thanksgiving on
Valiant Lady.
Yep. Yes. 8 days.
8 days. Yeah. It's a great itinerary. Yeah.
I know. I know Rocky has told us many times where we're going. I know Bimini. So when people ask me, where are you going? I know Bimini because I've never been to Bimini. And so plus I love saying Bimini. Bimini, boppity boo.
I probably can't say that.
Sorry. The trademark, please. Yeah. Okay.
And then he's also asking if we're looking into a cruise in March.
I don't have anything booked in March right now, and so it seems reasonable.
Is 2024 gonna be another every month sailing?
It would be great. So one of my goals in life, in this cruise life, is to have a cruise booked every single month of the year. I've never done it.
You got really close to it last year.
Really close to it last year. I missed September due to some work things that were happening that I had to physically be here for.
Yep.
But next year I've got January booked. I've got February booked. I've got
May.
Oh, is it May?
Yeah.
I thought it was started in April.
Firenze is May. It's May. The 2nd of May.
Firenze inaugural May. And I think does that end my cruises?
For right now.
Wow.
We're still working on the rest of our itineraries. I know that you're looking at sailing the Panorama from Singapore.
Oh, that's right. That's the other big sailing. Yeah. #Team Jason. I threw that one out there for
right at the same time.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Same time as Cooper said #Team Rocky.
Team Jason, Team Rocky, all the teams. Looking at doing the Trans-Pacific on the Carnival Panorama.
Yep.
So she's going into dry dock in
Singapore.
In Singapore. And so she's doing a Trans-Pacific that leaves Singapore, hits Hawaii, hits
Japan, Hawaii, and then finally.
Does she hit Ensenada? I don't remember.
I don't think she has to.
It's 25 nights.
It is.
So if I do that, it's going to limit my other options in 2024 quite significantly.
Yep.
But it would allow me to sail over my birthday, and it would allow me to do a lot of new ports.
Yeah.
I've never done the port of Singapore.
That's right. I forgot. Raymond is actually already booked on that sailing. So if you go, fly with him, and you guys can be plane buddies.
Does Raymond need a roommate? Just kidding.
Well, he's probably going to be working as well on that sailing. So that's a pretty long cruise.
I would definitely have to work on that cruise for a little bit. But what's going to be odd to work on that cruise is the time zone changes are going to be absolutely opposite of here.
I don't know how, I'm going to have to build out another time travel Excel file for you to figure out.
Yes.
Geez.
One other fun cruise tidbit. It's not cruise news, but it is cruise news for you. That it's Mark and Rocky cruise news.
Yeah.
We when we were in Gibraltar for the Venezia. Sorry, I was going to say I'm still on the Panorama.
Oh.
We went to a place called the Spirit of the Rock, which is Gibraltar's only distillery. They are a gin distillery. I took home a tasting kit for us, and we actually did a Spirit of the Rock tasting this past week and celebrating my Gibraltar experience. I brought a little bit of Gibraltar home to Rocky, and so we got to try the Jocko gin and the Campion and the Candy Tuft and 6 different gins that we got to taste and sample from Spirit of the Rock.
We're feeling pretty good after that.
They sent us a lovely little message, which was awesome. Just a great experience. If you're ever in Gibraltar, there's a couple of things you have to do. You've got to visit the macaws. Be careful because those monkeys will attack you. You've got to visit the macaws. You got to do the lift up the hillside, and you got to visit Spirit of the Rock if you are of drinking age.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool.
Anything else before we close this out?
There is definitely something else that we need to
there's
take
definitely
time
something
to
else.
announce.
Oh, look at these. Oh, look at these. Those are
Can you
cute.
grab yours?
Am I going to grab mine? Oh, yes, I can.
So we are officially selling. Oh no.
What?
What did you do?
I just grabbed my own.
We're officially selling some beautiful This Cruise Life lanyards.
Cute.
They are. They don't have the right Twitter logo anymore.
Oh my gosh. These are rare.
Yes.
They're rare because they've got the original Twitter. By the way, I don't. Rocky changed the Twitter logo on the screen. I almost gave him the feedback of saying, put it back to the bird, because this, it's so funny. Every news article says Twitter, formerly, or X, formerly known as Twitter. Like it will forever be Twitter. Right. Sorry, Elon. Cooper, literally the first sale ever on this cruise life. First sale ever on TCL.
Gabby, check your email. You should have received an email from shop@thiscruiselife.com. So take a look at it. If you didn't get it, please let us know. We haven't heard anything from anyone. That's
a really good point. Yeah. We're struggling with some email challenges that we're trying to solve.
Yeah.
But yeah, stickers, first ever, went out to the Campbell household, as Cooper just pointed out. And then
on the screen.
Put what up on the screen?
Cooper's message.
Look at they're saving. And then lanyards. We wore these on Rocky's birthday cruise, and we got a lot of actual recognition and comments on them, which is I did not expect it. So I'm going to be honest with you all, because you're part of the This Cruise Life family. I was shocked when I came home from the Venezia and Rocky had ordered these. I was like, who's ever going to wear a lanyard? Everyone wore them the entire cruise. And we had folks asking, hey, where can I get those lanyards? And I was like, I guess I was wrong. So This Cruise Life lanyards, that they are now available.
They are.
Along with stickers, of course. And
that's it for now. We are working on some additional merchandise opportunities.
We're turning it on this week. I want to turn it on this weekend.
I've been wanting to turn it on for
I want to turn it on this weekend. I mean, we're not officially announcing it here, but
we'll announce it next Saturday.
We're kind of announcing it here. Yes. So thank you for everyone who has tuned into the inaugural Sailing Talk Saturday. Put the screen on so you can. That's popped up several times, and it startles me every time when it pops up.
I'm trying to get.
Okay. Well,
I have to pull us.
for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure sharing our Saturday morning or afternoon, evening, depending on where you're located.
Or depending on when you watch this.
Or depending on where you watch this, absolutely. So stay tuned to our channel. Like we said, we've got a new video coming out on Monday from an experience that we had on one of our sailings.